welcome to my channel. I am Miss Toy to Review. I am so excited today because today is my official date of my 2-year anniversary on Zepbound. And so today I just want to give like a little recap of my experience using the medication Zepbound to help me on my journey to losing weight. Okay, so I wrote me a little note. So you see I got my little tie on, my Merry Christmas tie. I've been dressing up all week, okay? So I'm a teacher, so I really get into the holidays, and I really, really love Christmas holidays. So anyway, I have my notes to try to stay on task. So hopefully this won't be a long video. And if you do like the content, I ask that you like, subscribe, and share. Okay, so I'm going to start off with why did I start on this medication altogether. So I started back in 2023. I got on Zepbound once it came out. I believe Zepbound came out at the end of November of 2023, and I started my journey on Zepbound in December the 16th, 2023. So right after a couple of weeks after the medication had came out, I started taking Zepbound. And the reason why I started taking Zepbound, to be very transparent, at that point in my life, I was very desperate. I had been on a weight loss journey for many years, and I just had not been successful. I really had not been successful. I had been in a boxing class for 3 years, and it was a women's boxing class. I was boxing, hitting the bags, I was lifting heavy weights, I was doing the cardio, I was doing all the things, and I was doing that about 4 to 5 times a week for 3 years straight. I was very faithful, and anybody who knows me personally, they know that I was working out faithfully. And I wasn't really seeing any weight loss because I really was still having struggles with the food. And so it was very hard for me to lose weight. So I had the hormones, one part of me getting older with my hormones, and two, it was difficult for me to constantly make good decisions when it came to the food. And so even though I was on Weight Watchers, and I'm still on Weight Watchers to this day, I was still going over my points. So they give you, if you're familiar with Weight Watchers, they give you a certain amount of points every day. And so I would get to the point that I just wouldn't even track the food anymore because I know I was going over my points. And so then they'll say, well, hey, if you go over your points, you can eat all the fruits and vegetables. But, you know, when you're hungry, you're not thinking about going in there and getting apples and oranges or whatever. So I think my biggest thing before the medication was fast food. I used to eat a lot of fast food, and I know I was consuming a lot of calories. And so when I started my exercise journey, I was able to maintain my weight, but I wasn't able to lose it. And so I was getting very frustrated because even though I was working so hard in the gym, I wasn't seeing any results. And I was having a lot of body aches, pain, and just other complications. And I was on a borderline of a lot of different illnesses due to my weight. And I needed to make a change. And so I was really heavily considering weight loss surgery. And that was something that I was really considering. And then I came across a content creator who said that she was about to start a GLP-1. And so I decided that I would give it a shot before I took the plunge and had weight loss surgery. And I'm so glad that I did. And so I went through a company called Sequence, and I started my journey, which is a telehealth company. And I started my journey with them. And I got on Zepbound. My insurance originally covered Zepbound. And so when I first started my journey, I was covered by insurance. But later on in my journey, like a lot of people, my insurance stopped covering the medication. So that's a story for another day. So moving on. So I told y'all how I got started, why I started. And in the beginning, I didn't tell anybody. And I tell this on another video, but you might then get a chance to see it. But the reason I didn't tell anybody in the beginning is because I was so laser focused. And I didn't want anybody to discourage me from not taking the medication. I didn't want anybody to tell me anything that was negative when it came to it, because I know if it was a loved one or somebody I truly respected, I would have second guessed myself. And I'm so glad that I did not tell anyone. And it wasn't because I was gatekeeping or I wanted to keep it to myself. No, I wanted to stay focused and I didn't want anybody to talk me out of it. And so a lot of times people don't think that they're talking you out of it. They just want to tell you the pros and the cons of what they heard. But sometimes that make you second guess yourself. And I know it's a lot of people that may be on the fence right now about taking this medication because of things that they heard from other people. But I'm going to tell you, when you're at home and you're not able, you're in pain and you can't do things for yourself due to your weight, it's nobody there but you. And so you have to do what's best for you, because there's going to be a lot of people that have positive things to say about this medication and what it's doing for people. And then you're going to have people that have negative things to say. But at the end of the day, it's going to be you dealing with you. And you know what your health issues are. You know your pains. You know things that you're going through in your life. So you got to make the best decision for you. And if you have a really good support group, then fine, share it. But for me, it wasn't that I didn't have a good support group. I just did not want to take the chance of anybody talking me out of it. So I didn't share it. And so it's so surprising that now I do share it on YouTube. So that was the reason why I didn't share it, is because I just wanted to stay focused and I did not want anybody to stop me from, discourage me from taking the medication, because I knew that I needed it. All right, so moving on. How much weight did I lose? I lost a total. I started off this journey at 276 pounds, and I am currently 163 pounds. So I have lost, what is that? I've lost 114 pounds. And I mean, woo! That was not an easy accomplishment. It took me 2 years to lose it. And it was ups and downs through this journey. But I will say I lost a total of how much, because I know a lot of people are like, how much did you lose every month? I lost pretty much 6 pounds every single month. That was like the average amount of weight that I lost. And what I like about my journey is that I didn't really compare myself to anybody else. And I was just always so appreciative about any amount of weight that I lost every month. Because prior to this medication, it would take me a whole year just to lose 100 pounds. So, it took me a whole year to lose 20 pounds. And so I was grateful. So my first year, I lost 66 pounds. And then I lost the remaining amount this year. So I am entering into maintenance and I'm excited about it. I really am. And so let me go. I want to tell you all about, I take my shot every 2 months. Every 2 weeks. And I started taking my medication every 2 weeks after the 5th month of being on this medication. And so the question that I get all the time is like, what made you start taking your medication every 2 weeks? And the reason I started taking my medication every 2 weeks is because due to the shortage that was happening in 2024, I started taking my medication every 2 weeks. And after that, I end up losing coverage. So I just continue to take it every 2 weeks because it stretched out my medication. So one box would now last me for 2 months versus 1 month. And even with me stretching out my medication, I was still losing 6 pounds a month. I never was really losing more. I probably, when I was taking it weekly, I probably was losing about 7 pounds a month. And then when I started doing it every 2 weeks, I was losing 6 pounds a month, okay? Now, I do all the things, you guys. I track my food. I exercise, I do everything. So I don't just depend 100% on the medication. I do all the lifestyle. I have made all the lifestyle changes on this journey. And so it has really changed my life. This medication has changed my mindset. I look at food totally different than what I looked at it before the medication. I used to just really love food. I mean, food was a big part of my life. Everything that I did was surrounded around food. It had something to do with food. And that's what I considered a good time. I was an emotional eater. I ate when I was happy. I ate when I was sad. I ate when I was bored. That was just something that I did. And now I don't do that. Now I eat, I still enjoy food, but it's not that big of a deal for me anymore. I'm able to make good decisions now where I couldn't do that before. But this medication has helped me so much. And that's why I like coming on to YouTube and share with you all what I have learned during my journey and currently on my journey, because I'm still constantly learning. All right, so let me move on. Let's see. I'm making sure I did everything. Okay, titration. How did I make it to 15? Yes, I did. So during the time I started my medication, that was in the beginning, and my doctor titrated me up every single month, okay? So he felt like, oh, I want you to go up every single month because you have a lot of weight to lose. And that was before all these content creators started telling them, hey, you should stay on the same dose for longer than 1 month if it's working for you. Well, the doctors really didn't have a lot of research on that, so they was just titrating you up every single month. So now they try to encourage you to stay on the dose a little longer if it's working for you. But that wasn't the case for me. So I made it all the way to 15, and yes, 15 was really strong, okay? And so I do have a video that I did telling how much I lost on each dose. So if you go through my timeline, you will see it, because I didn't write it down, so I don't remember. All right, so let's see. Side effects. Okay, I will tell you, if you get on this medication, everybody's different. For me, I did have side effects. Some of the side effects I had it on all of them, on each dose. And the side effects that I've had on every dose, I would say, is fatigue. I've been fatigued since I've been on this medication. And I will say, if you're on this medication and you have a remedy for fatigue, please put it down in the comments, because I would love to know, okay? So fatigue, constipation, those have been my two biggest side effects. I have really mastered the constipation part, but I haven't mastered the fatigue. But with me doing my shot every 2 weeks, that has helped me a great deal, because my off week, I'm not fatigued as I am the week I take the medication. As I got to the higher dosages, I started feeling different side effects that I did not feel on the lower ones. And so I will say that. So I did start feeling different ones. I should have wrote them down. But I'm going to tell you, it's some other side effects when you get to the higher dosages. At least it was for me. Okay. Maintenance. So what maintenance is, I'm hoping it's going to look like for me. Like I said, I currently take my medication once every 2 weeks. And I'm hoping that I will start taking my medication once a month. And then I do want to slowly just get off the medication and see how it works. And if I'm successful, yay! If I'm not, I'll just get back on. So I'm not stressed about it at all. But I do want to try to get off the medication, because I have been on for 2 years. And so anyway, I'm excited. My 2-year anniversary. And I've learned a lot on this journey. And I share it on my channel. And I also just share other things about just glowing up your entire life. And so if this is something that you like and you enjoy the content, I ask that you subscribe and join my family, my glow up crew. So thank you for watching, and I will see you again. Bye.